Hello and welcome to another episode of the Hotspur House on the YouTube channel. Today we are going to be doing a formation breakdown. I am joined by Bodie from Hotspur.industry and Samuel from THFC.national. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Thank you.
Alrighty. I'm, of course, Toby from _ Spurs Center, if you didn't already know. And let's get right into it. So do you guys want to start from us building out of the back, or do you want to start from the other team building out of the back, and we can kind of just work our way through it?
It's up to you. I don't mind.
All right, let's start with the other team moving out of the back. So these little blue dots are just going to represent the other team. And then, so we'll start them off with a 4-4. Well, I guess we'll do a 4-2 or a 4-3-3. That seems to be a pretty common formation nowadays, and something that we've been pretty well acclimated to. So, and this little white dot back here is going to be the ball. So typically teams start like off a goal kick, they play it short, and then we seem to really drop into like a 4-4-2 with Dombele and Kane stepping onto their lower midfielders, and their other midfielder maybe pushing up, and Højbjerg marking him, and then their left winger pushing wide with Aurier maybe dropping in a little bit, and Bergwijn coming wide to check on it, and then Sissoko is kind of left on the striker.
Yeah, Aurier suits going up a bit more, as well as Reguilon, to be fair. So
Mhm.
what I would do if I was boss is I'd put Højbjerg or Sissoko into a back three, so we've got like a wall against them when they go up. But I mean, I'm not the boss, so I wouldn't say.
I mean, we do tend to do that when they get higher up the pitch. And
Yeah.
we have someone joining us late, as is pretty typical. Charlie is here from N17 Nation, if you don't know. He's been on quite a few of these, so you should recognize his voice, but late again. Moving on from that, though, we were just saying maybe they play the ball out to the left, and we don't seem to be pressing that high. I mean, typically we stay in a kind of mid to low block with Kane and Dombele being our highest players forward, and maybe Son sometimes being the highest player forward and Kane dropping back a bit. And then obviously Reguilon matches up and Dyer would shift across, and then they're kind of stuck in that position unless their left winger drops down and they play a long ball up to him, and then Bergwijn is tracking it, and then they're kind of stuck again because we have all these players just kind of crowding the midfield, and then there's nothing they can do to get through. But what do you think about that one, Bodie?
What I've liked the most about our shape this season is you notice, like, when the opposition team is taking a goal kick, you notice just how high up the pitch, at least in the first half, and Dombele presses. Like sometimes sometimes he's higher than Kane, and it's very effective.
It has been quite effective.
I think it definitely suits that sort of role as more attacking than defensive, because I mean we've got two good defenders back, and then two walls in the midfield. So I think
it's worked out well too, because Dombele's defensive abilities, they've improved a lot, but obviously he's more suited to attacking, and so when he can just be kind of used as a body to prevent the passing lanes, works out well for us.
Yeah, there's definitely improvement, but he's getting better at running backwards as well when we need him, because he can defend as well, so we need him to get back quickly.
Because the only times they seem to be really been able to get through us is when, let's say, Dombele steps here and Kane steps here, and they have a player like they go here and they go long to him.
Well, I must admit, Reguilon was quite a weak link against Crystal Palace. Obviously, can't be absolutely phenomenal every game, but
No, I really disagree. I thought he was one of the key players.
He passed the ball into the out literally 3 times. But yeah, I'm not. He was still decent. He can't be amazing every game.
But he contributed so much to our attack.
He does. That's true. But if we're looking at it from a purely defensive standpoint, I think he's been pretty solid this season. But he hasn't been our best defender. I feel like out of the 4 defenders, he's probably been the worst.
I think Sissoko is crucial to actually how we play.
Because I don't think Lo Celso works in Højbjerg and Dombele sort of formation.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Lo Celso in that back line either, or not in the back line, in the midfield, because I feel like he doesn't
Yeah.
offer the same type of
No,
thing
Lo
that Dombele
Celso
does.
just does not
but-
work with
I mean, I put a post up about it, just saying how we can't play Ndombele and Lo Celso in the same team. That doesn't work
Mm.
because
No, it was awful
both
against
attacking.
Lask, LASK, or
Yeah.
however you say it. And I saw someone saying like, "Oh, it didn't work because we were always trying to just hit on the long ball and bypass the midfield." And it's like we were doing that because they were doing so poorly.
You know what? At the end of the day, at least Jose humored us. We begged for Ndombele, Lo Celso and Hoybier, and he gave it to us, and now we understand why he wasn't playing them for so long.
Yeah, I mean,
So and
you look at it through the past.
after that, I've kind of just accepted not to question what Jose does anymore because I realize everything he does for a solid reason.
Mhm.
'Cause, you know, he's
Well,
one of
it's
the
like
best
the whole
managers
thing
in the
when
league.
for managers, it's like looks like the whole fan base will be saying like, "Oh, do this, do this, do this," and they don't, and then like later you're like, "Oh, okay, I see why they didn't do that." Like when Pochettino was in charge, everyone was saying play a 4-3-3 with Lucas on the right and Sonny on the left, and like we were like doing that, and then Pochettino left and Mourinho came in and started using that, and we were like, "Okay, take Lucas Moura out of the team, take him out of the team." So
Well, I thought Mourinho's debut. I thought Mora was pretty class. I mean, he made good
Mhm.
runs forward and
Yeah.
he got back a bit. So I haven't got a
Mhm.
problem. I'd say he's better than
I
Bergwijn.
think I actually think Mora is out of his like at the start of the season. I wouldn't say this, but in the last few games, I just think Mora has no place in the squad anymore. Not even in the.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. How can you even say that?
What do you
I
mean? He
don't-
doesn't. He never plays. He hasn't played in the last 5 games. He hasn't touched the ball in the Europa League. Bale plays in the Prem. Bergwijn plays. We have Jack Clark as well. We have a lot of players that can play there. Lamella when he comes back from injury.
I thought one, Lamella's injury prone. 2, I thought you said Jack Clark wasn't good enough. And 3, how can you compare Bergwijn to what Lucas has done for the club? Lucas
What do
is
you
our best.
mean? What he's done is irrelevant. What he's done is irrelevant. Every time he
You're all
plays,
gonna laugh at me when I say this, but I think Bergwijn should go out on loan because I don't think
Oh
that
my
he
goodness.
deserves first team football right now. Because I mean, I get that we've got Kane and Son the finishers, but how many times has he finished a goal?
Okay, Bergwijn's role has. Okay, let's talk about this. Hold on, I'm gonna change up the shape and say that we have let's say we have the ball. Back here, Kane is dropping in. Hold on, I'm gonna push their lineup. Kane is dropping in. Dombele is moving out wide. Ori is making his run down. They play the ball into Bergwijn. Bergwijn maybe carries it up the field, draws in a defender, and then he lays it off to Kane. And then look at all this space that's opened up over here. Meaning this player has to shift, and you see that channel like immediately opens up for Kane to play into Son. So it's like you look at those movements, and it's like Bergwijn. He has a lot of I call them pre-assists, where it's like he passes to the player who ends up getting the assist. Or let's say we start from the back again. Hold on, let's see. So there's their back 4. They have their 2 midfielders. Dombele's opening up in the space. Hoybier's getting wide. Aurier's wide. Reguilon's wide. And they play it into Dombele, who maybe plays it off to Bergwijn, who, oh shoot, just made the ball like super wide. Okay, hold on. There we go. Dombele plays it out wide to Bergwijn, who maybe takes it down the middle, and then Aurier goes down the wing, taking the defenders with him. And then all the space opens up for Bergwijn, who can play it into Kane, maybe drops it down to Dombele, who plays the ball over the top for Son
That's the
to
problem
either
with
shoot
Man
or drop it off to
City, though.
Kane.
That's the problem with City is that they leave a gap in the central spots where they go too much off to the wing. We play a ball in and it's kind of exposed because the 2 defenders are a bit lost. And
Well, that's just my point is that Bergwijn, he opens up so much space, and especially in teams like City and Liverpool. And then defensively, I
Yeah.
think he's our best player. Lucas Moura is he's great defensively, but I think positioning wise and just intelligence of the game on a defensive standpoint, Bergwijn's ahead of him. And on Bale, he just doesn't seem to have the energy, and Lamella is just he's crazy. So
yeah,
But-
Lamella, of course, injured.
yeah, injured, and then when he does play, he's a loose cannon.
Yeah.
I think Lamella's one of our best players.
I do. He's shown great improvement
No,
this season.
I wouldn't go
That's
that
when he
far.
plays.
No, sorry, I wouldn't go that far to say he's one of our best players. The man is made out of glass. When he plays, every season he has a few class games and then gets injured 2 or 3 times.
It was a bit like Eric Dyer.
No,
You mean by his
but
injuries, or
no, but Charlie, look at Harry Kane, right? Harry Kane, last season he was packed of injuries. He'd probably be injured at this point if we didn't have Vinicius, right? Everyone still worshipped him, right? But when Lamela is injured for some reason, he's not that good. You cannot say, right, when he plays, he is not one of the best in the team because he's box to box. He brings so much going forward, right? He's always up and down the pitch, and you have to admit, when we're transitioning into a counter attack, he's one of the best players in the team at doing that. He can take the ball from deep and transition it up top. He's better than most of them. He's better than Masalson and Ndombele at doing that. He's our best midfielder at carrying the ball from our own final third into the opposition's.
His
And I think
dribbling,
it's
though, as soon as
ludicrous
it's
people think he's at it.
he's an all-round very. He's also very like cheeky. He wins free kicks and
yeah,
he does all that sort of side of things. But like again, it's a bit like Bergwijn. He doesn't get the goals, and for a front three, you look at Liverpool. Well, I actually don't look at Liverpool because they've got Firmino and he doesn't really score. But look at City. In fact, that's not really that good an example either because they're not scoring. But Prime City would have Aguero scoring. They'd have whoever playing right wing scoring and Sterling who scores, and they can all do the same role as that. So I think that right winger, if Gareth Bale can build back something, then he'd be important for our team getting goals as well. And then I think he would drop into the front three with Son and Kane.
I think you kind of just proved the point though. Like the front threes, they don't always have three goal scorers. I mean, with Liverpool, they have Firmino who doesn't score. With
Firmino
City,
is not a goal scorer.
yeah, that's my point. Firmino, he's not a goal scorer.
And
You look at Chelsea right
no,
now.
but Bergwijn, people don't seem to realise how crucial Bergwijn was in the Arsenal game, in the City game.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think the City.
No, but he was keeping the shape. You don't understand.
No.
He
So
was
Charlie,
also crucial in defence.
Charlie,
That's the reason Bale has no place in the squad.
Charlie, I think recently I've really rated Bergwijn's performances, but I think saying that fans didn't appreciate him after City enough, I think that's a bit of a stretch. Everyone fell in love with him after he scored that goal against City. Everyone said he was going to be the next big thing, and I still think he can be. So I feel like it's a bit of a stretch for you to say that. I'm starting to rate him a bit more now.
You've got to remember he's young. He's only going to get better. I don't think he's going to do a Dele Alli and go totally off.
Well, I think for Dele, it was just he peaked too early.
No. But Bergwijn can't do a Dele Alli because Bergwijn was never on Dele Alli's level. But the fact is, what I'm trying to say is that Bergwijn is the reason Bale can't get into the squad. Bergwijn was on a real low when he got kicked out of the Netherlands squad and was sent back, and it was looking bad for him. And then Jose told him that he needs to work hard to get back into the squad, and clearly he has. He's played 3 or 4 games in a row now in the Prem, and he's running back. This is the reason Bale isn't playing, because Bale might be obviously an absolutely phenomenal player, but he's just not the kind of player that's going to be running up and down the pitch like he used to when he was young. And that's the reason Bale will not be starting games this season, because for Jose it's crucial to have the whole team hardworking, defending, and that's not something Bale wants to do.
To be honest, you've sold your point there. I think it's pretty obvious that just looking at what you've said, Bale clearly doesn't run back and forth 24/7 in the match, and he loses the ball sometimes.
That's why we have backups though, right? That's why we have so many options on the wing for players specifically like Bale, right?
Yeah,
who we know is quality, but can't run that full 90 anymore. I still think he can if you give him the time to adjust.
Yeah. I feel like the games that Gareth Bale is going to be the most important in is the games against teams like Fulham or Sheffield. I feel like the Crystal Palace would have been a big game for him if he hadn't gotten sick. Because I feel like he would have started out wide, because he doesn't need to be so defensive against those teams, and he can really just show his creative ability. and maybe take shots from back here or maybe getting closer or play creative balls in with Kane and Son, and then he doesn't need to worry about tracking back as much because
He's
I mean,
important for Europa, isn't he, Bale? So
yeah, that too.
he's gonna play. Like, it's a bit of squad rotation, like other teams do that win stuff. They rotate their squad, like in the FA Cup as well, and it works. So.
We're running out of time here, but let's just go through one more like breakdown. So let's say we're starting with the ball in the back. With Toby Alderweireld, we know he has that potential to hit those long balls, and so it seems that we seem to pass around the back and then get players up the pitch who Alderweireld can hit those balls too. Maybe he gets pressed, so he plays it out to Sissoko, and then Bergwijn, who we were just talking about, like his importance, receiving the ball in these tight spaces and just opening up the space. The striker would check back. This guy would be marking on Ndombele, and then all the space opens up for Alderweireld, and Son drifts inside. Kane checks back in. Bergwijn gets up the pitch again, and that draws the defenders in, resulting in Reguilon. We've seen quite a few goals this season of someone hitting a long ball out to Reguilon cutting it back and then delivering a cross in, and then that goal against Chelsea where Lamela scored, the Gareth Bale goal, and then headers resulting in goals. So that just, once again, the importance of Bergwijn, that little pass that opens up the space for Alderweireld to hit the long ball to get the goal. So
yeah, I think every player in a team has to play well. You can't have 10 good players. If you want to win a league at will, we need everyone to stay in good form, because then we can make those short passes and then use the width. And it just shows how unimportant they seem, but actually they do actually turn out to be quite important, these little passes that just work. Even Lloris, when he plays it out from the back, if the pass isn't dead on accurate, the interception from the opponent's attack will win it back and they'll score. But he makes the pass and it just works. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching. This has been a Formation Breakdown with Spurs 433. Today I was joined by Samuel, Bodie, and Charlie, and I'm, of course, Toby. Remember to hit that subscribe button, hit like, and turn on the bell for notifications so that you don't miss a video. Come on, you Spurs.